I guess we're rolling, so welcome to the Hive podcast.
Well, thank you for having us.
Want to introduce yourselves?
Who are you?
My name is Eric, Eric Corum. I am the bassist, producer, and sound guy sometimes for Vacant Skies.
I'm Jade. I play drums in a band called Vacant Skies. And you'll see me around town. I go to a lot of shows, and I'm a big part of the music community. I like to think, at least.
Are y'all originally from Flagstaff?
Well, I guess, yeah, for the most part. I was born in California, but then very quickly, like, my mom's from Mesa, and so very quickly she was like, I don't want to live here anymore. And so 4 months after I was,
that's totally fair.
Yeah, like 4 months after I was born, we immediately drove back to Phoenix, and then moved up here when I was like 4. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm from here.
Nice.
Yeah, I was born and raised up here. Gone for a couple years. Went to college in Phoenix area, Mesa. So, yeah, gone for 3 years, but pretty much every other second of my life I've been here.
Nice.
Easier.
What got you guys into the music scene in the first place?
Ooh, you should go first on that
Yeah,
one.
I was probably like 7 years old. My brother Argent played in a band called Gray Skies and Draculich, and he used to run a venue called Studio 111. It was part of Matt Italian's bar. It's like the only all ages venue in town at the time.
I remember going to Studio 111. That was back in high school.
Yeah. I was like 6, 7 years old when I first went there, and it was like a ska show. And
Nice.
I just remember somehow getting caught in a skank pit when I was 7 years old.
Nice.
Yeah,
Skank pit.
That's kind of how it started.
I used to have to sneak out of the dormitory here in Flagstaff to go to shows at Studio 111. I remember my first show was a Limit Club show.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah, every weekend they would have a show every weekend, $5. You know, it's for a lot of the kids around here didn't know what to do with themselves, so they kind of
They still don't.
wanted to. You know, it's a lot of the idea behind the Hive. You know, that is what that place was, and it was bringing in a lot of, you know, a bigger crowd too, because the 21 and up could just go through a door next door and there's a bar right there. You can drink and then walk through another door and there's a band playing on a stage. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. I grew up with that too, you know, all through middle school, high school, going to shows there. I remember when the Hive was actually just a storage room of a restaurant called Tacos Locos.
Yeah.
And you could get a beer and eat
Call
some
that.
tacos, and then there'd be like a punk band playing in the back in their storage room. And I think it was James who like convinced the owner to separately lease the space, and he turned it into a venue. And I actually played in a band called The Blurs when he first started the Hive and started getting it going. We played every Friday, $3 Please to Punk You Fridays.
Nice.
So,
Some deep Jade lore.
Deep Jade lore. Yeah, my scene experience was kind of the opposite, really. For me, I was kind of like my parents are helicopter parents. I was the only child and the only one that they could have, and so like they were super protective of me. But I started playing music when I was in elementary school, playing upright bass, and then just continued playing that all the way from pretty much all the way until the end of high school. But I've always been like a huge lover of metal music and like funk and reggae and ska and classic rock and just everything that you can kind of throw at the wall. I've always been a fan of playing that kind of music.
Sure.
So in my spare time, that's what I would do, is just kind of practice that stuff. And I would try my best to sneak out of the house, you know, and come see a show every now and then when I was, you know, on this side of town. But it made it harder because I was living on the other side of town, so it was a little bit more difficult to get over here. But I really started getting into the scene, honestly, after high school. a buddy of mine approached me and asked if I wanted to be in a band. And it kind of just started out from there, and then ended up just not finishing that project at all. And I kind of got poached by one of his guitar players for his band, and started playing with a band called Bellatrist for a while. And that's when I really started getting more into the scene.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then that kind of broke up, and then right after that, I graduated college and went to Phoenix, and that was kind of the first scene I was really introduced to, because I did do a little bit of, go to the hardcore shows and hang out in some of the bars and stuff, at least try to, but really I got more into the hip-hop scene down there, because a lot of what I was doing was producing music, producing for other people and making beats and all that stuff, and so that really, moving down there really refined that kind of aspect of my repertoire. But then when I got back up here and started playing with Vacant Skies, that's when I really got into the scene up here, honestly. It's been more recent for me than pretty much the other guys in the band.
How long did you live in the Phoenix area?
Just a couple years. Yeah, I moved there down in 2019, right after graduating. And then that, COVID hit. And I was kind of just on lockdown in my house for 2 years, doing nothing but making music. And I was really trying to do, spread my wings a little bit. I started producing pop music and more of EDM style stuff too.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, getting up here is when after COVID and things started loosening up. I really wanted to get back into a scene, actually do that, be a part of that.
Yeah.
And that was the same time I joined Vacant Skies, and so it was a perfect opportunity to just kind of learn more about the scene and see where I can help and do what I can do to help. And then, working at the local music store really helps too. That's helped a lot, being able to learn more about sound and setting up bands or playing or what the right setup or right instrument for the right job might be.
I'm sure being part of the music store, you just randomly have your ear to the ground to what's going on.
Oh yeah. Some customer will come in and mention a little thing or a little tidbit, and they'll give me some information on what's going on, or oh, this guy's looking for a drummer, or this person needs a singer, or whatever it might be, or this guy has no idea how to use his PA and really needs a hand.
We get a lot of those.
Right. Yeah. And really what I've been doing now is just helping my fellow bass players out. Clay and Fire is a good example. Those guys are.
Oh, they're killing it.
Dude, they are
They're such a
killer,
singer,
man.
yeah. Oh, we should get them on.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
If you please.
I'm really curious on how they got the drums set for their sets,
Yeah.
because they don't have a drummer currently.
Right.
But the drums in the background is just so fucking on point.
Seriously, that's why they're probably having a hard time with it, because they gotta find someone who's master metronome,
Yeah.
But their bassist, he's brand new to playing, and so he's been coming in. He came in to look for his first bass to start playing with him, and he's like, I have no idea what to get and everything. So I hooked him up with that badass 5-string matte black SR. I can't remember, 305 or something like that.
Yeah.
Ibanez bass, and then he's like, I don't know how to use pedals. I don't know what the right ones to get. I don't know how to get the right sound. And so I was like, here, go ahead and borrow my Sands amp. Go ahead and take it home. I don't care. Go play with it. Those guys are great, honestly, and I'm really excited to help them do more, because he came back and returned it to me today too.
Yeah, nice.
Without asking or anything. I'm really excited.
I booked him here at the Hive because their guitarist Brandon.
Yeah.
I've seen him play at a Mountain Town tap room a couple times. He's doing the open mic and whatnot.
Oh no, really? No way, really. That's cool.
And then he's like, oh, I got this other band. It's nothing like what I play currently, but if you're willing to listen and stuff, I'm like, cool. I did and checked them out. I was like, this is really good.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Mind blown when
Dude.
I first saw them play here. I was just so impressed at how talented all of them were. And they were like, this is our first show we've ever played together. It's like, dude, you guys sound like you'd been playing shows for years,
Well, it's so cool how professional they are too. For being so young, they're really about having good rapport and they don't flake on stuff. They're responsible guys.
Yeah, they messaged me back right away too, which is nice.
That's crazy for how young of a band they are.
Shout out to kind people.
Shout out to decent human beings.
Yeah.
So, you got something?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, how did you guys meet, and what's the story of Vacant Skies and how it formed? What are the iterations?
So when he actually came back to town around late 2021, he had he was working with a few fellow acquaintances, and just through the network of Flagstaff, people, oh yeah, this band is looking for a bassist. Larry's significant other at the time, was working with Eric, and had mentioned that to Eric, and we tried Eric out, and that was our first bassist, our original bassist, and we've been together ever since.
Kind of stuck like glue.
Yeah, straight up.
But it's funny. Jade and I I knew of Jade at least in high school. Like we technically went to high school together.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, he was but he was a wrestler, so he was always like, and I was a band dork, so I was like always like just opposite sides. And it's funny, it's funny too because Dylan.
Did you guys, what school did you go to?
We both went to Flag High.
Oh, nice. I went to Flag High too.
Nice. Yeah. The drummer for my first band I was in, Dylan Short, is also a football player for Flag High, and I also went to school with him. Mm-hmm. And so it's funny how, like, in my mind back then, I had the same kind of, like, I was terrified of Jade. I was terrified of Dylan. Like, they're, like, scary big guys. Like, I'm pretty big myself, but I'm like, these guys are huge,
Yeah.
And it's funny how, like, it just turns out, like, the nicest human beings in the world, Like, it's funny how it just ended up seeing, like, oh, I remember seeing you looking really mad in the hallway, but you're, like,
all the time.
Really cool guy.
The hardest people are always usually the hardest looking people.
Yeah.
Are usually the kindest.
Absolutely. Honestly, that's why I like this kind of scene the most, too.
Yeah, it's the same with the scene. The hardcore scene, the punk scene. It's like they look scary from the outside looking in, but once you like talk to them, they're like, oh, fucking dorks.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's just like cool, individual, nice people. Like I've played in country shows and blues, and I've done rap shows. I've done all sorts of different kind of gigs, and for the most part, actually for the entire part, metal and punk and hardcore and stuff is just the nicest group of people.
Yeah.
Like it's always a close-knit community.
Yeah.
It seems like every town that I visited that had like a really established like punk hardcore scene or whatever, like everybody knew everybody and everybody supported each other. And it's a very like you were saying, like a uniquely punk hardcore thing. Like I feel like other scenes don't really have that as much, at least in my experience.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's those outliers that like,
oh sure,
and they get like taken care of swiftly in the community,
right? Right. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, honestly, like I said though, like for the majority of the part, punk and metal is just like the nicest group of people you can possibly be. I mean, if you think about it, I don't know of another genre that has like an international universal rule that if somebody falls down, you pick them up. Sure. Like you can go to any state in this country and like that's a rule. Like people just know that. If you can name one other genre that has some kind of safety rule that's automatically built into it, I swear to God, I'll give you $5.
That's fair. Is Vacant Skies currently the only music project y'all have?
Currently for me, yeah. I've been thinking about branching out, but still working on it. Honestly, I have been thinking about Clay and Fire just because I think their music is so good. But man, yeah, I'm gonna have to step my game up if I want to.
You have the drum set for it, I think.
That's
you definitely do, yeah.
He's got the tools.
You got the chops too.
You do, yeah. Just take the time. A lot of time.
I just got a lot going on right now too, so I'm just finally kind of coming off the cusp of all that madness in life. Life just hits you sometimes, and but yeah. That Vacant Skies is kind of the main focus, and will be probably for the rest of most of this year at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, it's definitely my primary. I would say like, for me, it's like 98% of my focus is Vacant Skies, but I denote I allocate like a 2% to working with other bands. Like for example, Logan, I'm playing with him this Saturday. Filling in for his bass player. Or
cool. Gone Before Us?
Yeah.
Type deal?
Yeah, nice. Gone Before Us. Doing Battle of the Bands. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Where at? In Phoenix?
It's in Page.
In Page. Oh, dope.
I'm really tired of Battle of the Bands events, honestly, but the prize is like $1,000.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I was like,
enticing.
I guess I'll do one more.
And it's like only
that
2 songs. It's like, shoot, 2 songs, $1,000.
Dude, yeah, that's $500 a song.
That math is pretty easy to do.
I once did a Battle of the Bands as a solo artist out in Tuba City and won.
How you won? No way. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome. That's
Did
awesome.
like a solo Naming Our Monsters set, and there were like full bands that came from Page, bands that came from Phoenix.
Yeah.
But you know, like they didn't have they had something missing from what they were doing, I guess.
Right.
And then there were like 3 judges, and they're like, you know what, this guy's the guy. He did it. He has the stage presence. He like talked to the fans or the crowd and whatnot. Had really good stage presence. I was like, oh cool. I didn't expect to win. And then I won. I was like, what the fuck?
That's gotta be so cool. That's gotta be such a cool feeling to be like a one-man band. You know, like one guy sing solo act and beat out like just groups.
Like, we each had like 20 minutes to play too.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Eli right before then, like a week before then. Eli from Tiny Bird.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm debating on whether or not I should play a cover or not, because you've heard my covers and whatnot. He's like, you Ryan, play all your original songs.
Yeah.
Because you're so good. Like you write really good music and whatnot. So, okay, I will. And then I did just played all original music. I think some of the other bands played a lot of covers and whatnot. Try to gain favor that way.
That's probably a big part of why you won right there too. But that's crazy, man. You're out here squad wiping.
Yeah.
Dudes in Battle of the Bands.
1v3s.
Yeah. That's funny.
You got your Project Yeet Ski.
Oh yeah, so so I do have a throwaway profile.
That's the 2%.
That's the other 2%.
Or what?
So I guess I got to readjust that number to like a good 95, because like I got my Yeet Ski project, which is like I got personal music I make every now and then, and I just like it's all throwaway tracks. I got 3 monthly listeners.
I don't know, man. That one like smooth track.
Yeah.
I added that to one of my playlists.
Oh, nice.
I like listen to it all the time.
Oh,
Thanks,
all his music
One of
goes
your
hard.
3
Yeah, no, straight up.
I've never heard of this, so
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't tell no one.
Sure.
Like if somebody
It's
finds
underground.
yeah, but it's spelled Yeetski. Yeetski.
YTESKY.
I'm one of the 3.
SKI.
I'm also one of the 3.
I think I'm the 3rd. But like I've got a SpongeBob beat on there that I made that like sounds like the Suicide Boys.
Hell yeah. How do you go about writing for that?
For that, it's just I mean, I really haven't had the opportunity to do a lot of it just because I've been so busy with Vacant Skies and producing other people, and doing sound gigs and stuff. But for the most part, it's like just get an idea or a melody stuck in my head, and I just have to run it out and start working with it. And either I run it out to the point where it's absolutely awful and I never want to hear it ever again.
Sure.
Right. Or I'm like, okay, this is good. I can work with this. I can keep going with that. And then sometimes I finish them and sometimes I don't. If I'm like, this sounds good enough to throw at somebody, maybe they'll like it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I won't get too much flack on it. But yeah, for the most part, the Yeetski stuff is all just for fun. Yeah. It's kind of my meme profile for just like letting off steam.
I feel like sometimes those projects are the ones that should get more recognition.
Sometimes,
well, it's like the fun when you're having fun doing the thing.
Yeah,
it can
Right. Yeah.
it can come out in the music.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got a bunch. I'm thinking about just releasing like. I'm not sure how to do it, either like in separate little groups or albums, but I've got a backlog of just crazy amount of tracks that I'm just thinking about. Screw it, I don't even want to hear them. I'm just gonna throw them out
You
there.
should load them up for like 20 years and then release an album that's like 100 hours long or something.
It's a great idea.
But that's only part 1 though.
Yeah, there'd be like zero continuity too, just like random sounds.
I feel like having other projects as a musician is super important to like keeping things like interesting and like keeping your like chops up and kind of like putting yourself in different environments for music. I feel like helps you learn
Stay
a lot
fresh.
more.
Yeah, definitely helps. Like it helps me stay fresh a lot, because it helps me kind of like remember old ways of playing, like different aspects of different styles, and being like, oh, I can probably take this and use it in this song for Vacant Skies, or I can do this for this bass line or whatever.
You said you started with the stand-up bass, right?
Yeah.
Was it hard to switch from that to a regular bass?
Bass guitar.
Bass guitar?
No, not really. So I also
was it weird going from fretless to frets, or do you think it'd be harder going the opposite way from frets to fretless?
It's way harder going the opposite direction. I would say it's way harder to go from using frets to fretless, especially on an upright bass, just because the scale length gets a lot longer at the top there near the scroll. But I went to the Arizona Music Pros School of Rock thing when I was a little kid, and that's kind of where I also found like, oh man, bass guitar is really cool too. Like
it's more versatile than I think people give it credit for.
Right. Yeah, it really is. But yeah, I'd say that like learning the fundamentals on form, and like how to properly hold an instrument, and like where to place your hands on the neck and everything. Learning all that from the classical perspective, I think really helped me going to electric bass. The hardest part about it though is I still do this sometimes. I want the bass to be upright. Like I just want that thing to be. So sometimes I've caught myself holding the bass or like almost pulling the strap out to where the neck is like close to my cheek, like getting there up to my cheek.
Sure.
Just
I bet
out of
that's
habit.
like save some space on stage, anyways.
Yeah, that too.
Especially here at the Hive.
Yeah. Got to make sure I'm doing a good job of doing that and playing jump rope around Larry.
Yeah.
The sound or lead, not sound man, frontman 5000.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah, seriously.
Dude, the man is a monkey. Like the dude is just hanging from the top of the stage if he could.
Yeah.
Literally.
And did you say where you started playing drums?
I actually started playing drums pretty early on because, like I said, when I was a kid, my brothers played in bands, and my dad actually bought a drum set for like $100 and just left it laying around, and I was the one that was like, I'll try that, and I originally first jammed actually with Deadbug. Shout out Deadbug.
Shout out Deadbug.
Let's go.
When we were in 5th grade. And we jammed like System of a Down songs and like Raining Blood Slayer. I remember the first song was like System of a Down Sugar.
Oh, I love that song so much.
It's
my favorite System of a Down song.
Yeah, we just jammed those songs for a little while, for I want to say a year or two, and I don't think much came after that. Like we both just ended up going to different schools, and I think after high school that's when I was asked to join the Blurs and was in that punk band for a little while. But
I remember seeing the name around. I don't think I've ever seen you play that one.
Yeah, it was only from like 2012 to I want to say 2015, so like 3 years there. I was in a conservation corps at the time too, so I was like on 8 days, off 6 days kind of thing. So like a lot of the shows they would play acoustic without a drummer.
Wow.
But that I got a lot of experience from that, and just all self-taught, just kept getting better, practicing the songs and playing in a band. Just so much fun. Just I can't stop.
Sure.
And honestly, for a self-taught drummer too, the dude is killer. Like
you're really
thank
good
you.
at the drums,
yeah,
Jade.
like I didn't just play an orchestra and stuff. I played jazz band as well, and so it's I've got experience playing with like these crazy drummers, or at least these more classically trained guys. And Jade can pull out any swing beat better than anybody I can have met. Honestly, like some of the stuff that Jade's played, it's like fools me into thinking that he did take some kind of lessons. There's something.
And it's
there.
like 250 BPM too.
Right, yeah.
It's all just natural.
Yeah, like just self-taught practice, just actually grinding it out.
Yep.
There's a lot to be said for that.
Still playing the $100 PV drum set that my dad bought me when I was
Nice.
in 5th grade, man. That's the tour set.
The shells for a drum set don't matter, man. If you got good cymbals and good heads and like good hardware, like
For the most part, yeah.
you're pretty much set.
As long as it's not like pine.
Plywood.
Yeah, plywood or pine. You should be all right.
Yeah. All my homies hate pine.
All my homies hate pine shells.
Good drummer can make pine sound good, man.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
Tone is in the sticks,
an
right?
excellent drummer, I should say. Really good one.
Master drummer.
Master drummer.
So you mentioned that you do sound stuff.
Yeah.
On top of that, do you guys do anything else in the music scene other than play music?
Yeah. So like I said, I do the sound thing every now and then. I've been
sound here sometimes.
I've been kind of like the fireman for the Hive when nobody else is like everybody else has got something going on. I'll be the guy they'll call. It kind of just started from we were on tour. Vacant Skies was on tour, and we were playing a show in East LA. And there's like 3 different events going on in this one building, and the quote unquote sound guy basically set us up, and then bailed. And yeah, I went to bail to go do like a DJ gig or something like that upstairs. And
like he was the DJ
for a different gig upstairs, and then came down to do sound or something like that.
Like in between the events.
Yeah.
And then like he was just sitting on the patio smoking weed. Just like
yeah, and so I was like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. And so I've never seen a soundboard before. Like I know what a soundboard looks like, but I've never touched one or know like how to work one or anything like that. And I just went up there and saw, I was like, it was an analog board, thank God.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the vocals are really tinny, and I see a treble knob. I'm just gonna
turn that this way.
Just like started just messing with levels, and then got it kind of dialed into a better sound than what it was.
Yeah.
And kind of just went on from there. It kept being scenarios where it's like, oh, we don't have a sound guy, somebody's got to do it. I'm like, wow, I've seen a soundboard, like, and then now it's gotten to the point I've got I do a private gig every month, once a month for one cover band. It's great. I get paid to just kind of stand there and do nothing.
So you already have like it dialed in.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like their own equipment, and they bring their own board.
Cool.
They're the only ones that use it.
So it's just like
yeah, like I kind of just
plug and play.
Yeah, like I'll mess with some sounds because they're only a cover band, and so there's a high expectation for what the songs should sound like, and that's kind of my main purpose of being there.
Yeah.
And then also in-ears, and I'm doing some kind of field recording for them too. But yeah, it's just gotten to like a really good point now where I'm able to sling out a PA system for a group at any moment.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm definitely not professional. I'm not as good as you. That's for damn sure.
I'm just okay.
I still don't know how to use Next 32 efficiently. So
I've been working this room since 2015, so like it's just like I have that dialed in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And most bands don't even need a full drum set / amps.
Right.
Plug like
in this setting.
In this setting, no.
Maybe the snare and the kick for extra thumpage and snap.
But
the stuff.
I agree that I could get the vocals sounding nice, clear, cut through everything else.
Yeah.
When they need it, I've had bands come through and be like, the vocals are coming through too clear. Could you like muddy them up a little bit and send them back? Like what do you mean?
you want me to miss gain stages?
It's mostly like the shoegaze folks,
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like,
oh yeah,
it hurts my soul.
Right. Yeah, you're like, all right, gain up, up, down, I guess. Trying to find the feedback level so you don't start squealing.
And
yeah, I just like to go to a lot of shows, honestly. Like I love punk and metal for the most part, ska, but anything, to be honest. I'll try and get out as much as I can. You'll just see me at a lot of shows. I like to mosh.
Sure. And I have to say that's like one of the most redeeming qualities in a musician that plays in a band, is to actually go to shows that you aren't playing.
Yeah.
It's something you really don't see. I'm at shows I'm not playing all the time just because I'm doing sound. But like every now and then I like to like wander the city and be like, oh cool, these bands are playing. Let me go check that out.
Right. I think that is a true quality of a passionate musician, to be honest.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. We saw, just to speak to his point, we saw Testament the other weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was a crazy show, dude.
Yeah.
It was, like Jade got thrown into like the first time he got kind of helped up and climbed into the crowd surf.
Do it.
And then the second time he got lifted up like a toddler into the crowd surf.
Literally just tossed me up there. I was like, oh, all right, dude, okay.
And like I was at the Orpheum and I was kind of standing back a ways, like because the floor plan, it raises up a little bit, in elevation, and so I can kind of see above. I could see down on everybody there, and like it was just a wall of people started coming up on top of the crowd, Like it was like DayZ looking like style of people getting thrown over.
Just tossing them.
Like, dude, these security guys up front were like having a hard time catching kids coming over that gate.
Yeah, the second time I didn't get to the barricade, I got stuck and like people were running into me. I like threw a kid over me and just like got my feet down, swam back out. It was madness. It was madness. Yeah, I love to play a show and then you see me down in the pit. And I meet you in the pit. And people realize like, oh, you're the drummer I just saw play up there. Like, yes, I am.
Yes, I am. I am also here for the show.
Now we're moshing together. Hell yeah. It's my favorite.
And having to go through to so many shows or like to attend shows, that also means like, you know, like you're not just part of the music scene and on stage, but off stage as well. That gives you a unique perspective, I think. In terms of you know, like the Flagstaff music scene, what are your guys' favorite parts and least favorite parts?
I'd say that's a double-edged sword for me. Like they're both the same thing. It's the fact that bands can get created so quickly and like do a lot of great stuff really fast in this town. But the flip side of that is that a lot of bands die out and aren't heard from ever again very quickly. You know, it's like there's a lot of stuff that gets thrown at the wall in this town because it's kind of an oasis for a music scene of any kind.
Sure.
Really, just in general.
I think what's something very similar to that Alec mentioned last week, that bands start for fun. You know, there's a whole bunch of friends come together, they're doing something cool, and people like it, you know, and they blow up really fast, and they're like, oh shit, maybe we should make this mean something, and then
it turns into a job, and then it turns into less about the fun. And you're right, I think that's a big part of why, you know, bands don't last. They kind of slough off, is because they build this expectation in their head that they got to keep doing this stuff and all that. But I don't know, it's also a good way of determining like if it's something that you want to do. Yeah, like I've always said, like, there's a special kind of crazy person, just crazy or broken, whichever way you want to put it. But it's like, we have to do this or we'll die. Like, just this mindset of like, I can't stop. I don't know what it is. I won't stop. Like, and it's, you know, that's one part of this kind of thing that I'm thankful for, this kind of scene of how fast it cycles, is that it makes it easy to learn those things quickly and learn those things about other people quickly too.
Yeah. I feel like every person that enters the music scene always has like a new way of perceiving it, and like makes you, you know, your eyes open just a little bit more to like, oh, this side or that side.
Right. Makes you think about it from a different angle a little bit. What are you, brother?
Sorry, what was the question?
What are your favorite parts of the music scene / least favorite parts?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty right on with kind of what Eric was saying. Yeah, it's the worst parts are, yeah, those bands just die out really quickly. You know, they're here and then they're gone. But yeah, I love following local bands. Like, that's kind of one of my favorite things to do. Like, I could. Like, I remember you were in Kazner Cabin Draw. Like, I remember Alex band, Mandingo El Guapo. Like, I love following local bands. That's one of my favorite things. Eric was in Bellatrist.
That blew my mind when he told me he followed Bellatrist. I was like, why?
Yeah. Well, me and Dylan Short, their drummer, were the same grade. And like, I heard from someone that he was a drummer, so I was like, oh, cool, and you know, just knew who he was. We went to school together, kind of. So, but yeah, I love discovering new bands, especially new local bands, and following new bands. Like, I'm always looking for the next new local band that's coming up. Like we were talking about earlier, Clay and Fire is kind of that big one that I got my eyes on. I'm like, these dudes are killing it. They're crazy.
I want to give
They're
them
so
everything.
talented.
I want to give them everything to succeed.
So yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you guys have been on tour a couple times now, right?
Yeah.
Who does your booking?
So for the last tours, it's been primarily Larry. It was Larry, and then I would help out every now and then. And Jade, nowadays, Jade's kind of our big booker guy.
Kind of since this last year. I mean, Larry kind of spearheaded us for the main first couple years of Vacant Skies and all those tours that we did. He booked them all, and worked on local bands and got all that set and
places to stay.
Yeah,
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of worked on a lot of that with him too, like places to stay and the other logistical aspects. But like as a team, like, oh, I need help with this, I need help with that. Like pretty good. Larry can get bad at it at times, but decently good at like being when he's overwhelmed. Like, hey, can you help me with this or help me with that?
Yeah, he used to be really bad at it. He's gotten a lot better now.
Yeah,
now, and it shows because he's he looks way less stressed out. Like he looks like a much better. He looks like he's in much better shape now. But yeah, we've been really. I mean, Jade especially has really been stepping up lately.
So you're saying it's like one of the best things about booking a tour with your band is to ask for help.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
When you need it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 100% like a 3-legged or 4-legged stool. It's the big thing that I would really say that I helped with is like gear acquisition, like the right stuff to bring, the right tools for the job. And then Jade was really good with getting transportation, helping with finding places to stay, and then Larry was good with getting stuff set up, making sure getting the route set up. And then one of the things I would do is I would always call like before the tour, call the venues and be like, hey, we still good? Still going on? What's up?
Just want to make sure this didn't fall on the back burner.
Right.
Yeah.
So we all kind of just cover each other, just kind of checks and balances throughout the whole thing.
Things fall on the back burner sometimes too, or like things don't work out. Like there's don't be afraid to cancel shows. Like sometimes it's just not worth it. Like oh, you got to show up and pay $200 up front, and it's a Monday night, and the only local band canceled, and they're not going to make it, and we got to drive 400 miles or however far. I think it was farther than that. It was like 8 hours.
Yeah, we were supposed to drive from Arlington to Houston, I think.
You got to look out for yourselves sometimes out there. It's rough on the road, sleeping at truck stops, and when you can't find places to stay, and hard to get gas money sometimes, or even make money at some of your shows. So
some people, it's easy to get your stuff ripped off too. A great piece of advice for anybody wanting to tour is urban camouflage is a real thing. I'm serious. Don't advertise that you're a band on tour in a big old van, or whatever. Or sure, be in a big old van, but don't advertise that you're in a band.
Yeah,
because that's how people get their stuff stolen. Our urban camouflage is to look like a family on vacation.
Minivan.
Yeah, we minivan it, or like we'll get like a RAV4 set up with like a top, like what are those soft covers, soft bags? That you put on the top.
Gotta get one of those stickers that like show all the family members.
Seriously, I'm telling you, man, it's like urban camouflage will save your ass, because like it'll save you from cops being weird. It'll save you from like douchebags just wanting to bother you. It'll save you from people trying to steal your stuff.
That's fair.
And wherever you're staying too, like hotel, motel, Airbnb, like take your guitar inside. Like bring, of course, most of you do that anyway, but bring your like expensive stuff you don't want stolen inside, because like they'll just take your whole van.
Yeah,
literally.
Dude.
They'll literally just take the whole van, like steal the whole van with everything in it. That happened. That's a true story that happened to us on tour to a band.
Dude,
that we were playing with. Their whole van got stolen, and they were from Montana. Like, well, we gotta rent a car to get home now. Like,
yeah, we were in Tacoma, Washington. Yeah, Tacoma, Washington, and we just got done playing a show, and these guys went and parked their van at the hotel and went out to have a drink or something like that, and they got back and it was gone.
Dude, that sucks.
And these guys,
they had a nice rig.
Dude, like they had rack,
I shed a tear.
Yeah, they had rack equipment. Like they didn't have just amps and head or cabs and heads. Like it was full rack gear.
I would cry.
Dude, it was So we were able to. Their hometown was Montana.
The next show we were doing, so
home state,
we set that up as a benefit for them.
And we gave them all the money there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't like when I went on tour with my band. Like as soon as we got to the place we were staying at, we unloaded everything out of the car.
That's it.
I wasn't taking chances.
No, it's not worth it, man.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't even know what to do if all of my shit got stolen.
Seriously,
that would be so heartbreaking.
Absolutely. I mean,
little bands like us, we
can't. We can't.
Take us like 10 years to get that equipment back.
Right. Yeah, like a short lifetime of building it up. Just get lost in one moment. But
be safe out there.
yeah, be safe out there.
Keep
man.
your eyes peeled.
Yeah, just be like, if you have to walk a little bit further, that's fine. As long, just be aware of where you're at and park in safe places. Like, just don't risk it for the biscuit, because it can and will happen to you.
Yeah.
They will steal your shit.
They will steal your shit, buddy. They will cop your guitars.
So, in town and out of town, where are some of your guys' favorite places to play?
Ooh. I mean, Monty V has always been kind of like our home base here in Flag.
Yeah, I like the Monty V. I like the Hive. I like kind of the smaller areas, like kind of make it feel like it's more packed sometimes, and the energy seems a little higher.
Yeah.
When you can get like a little more people in the smaller areas, I guess.
Yeah. One of gosh, we don't really like. I guess Doll Hut's one of our favorite places to play on the road.
924 Gilman is kind of
yeah,
always our go-to if we're going to
Where are those
California.
located?
So 924 Gilman is in Berkeley, California. That's kind of an historic venue. It's one of our favorites. We were really stoked when they accepted us to come play there. But that's where like Jimmy Eats World and Green Day and
Mm-hmm.
AFI kind of got all their. That's where they grew up, kind of, and
so that was their spot. Yeah.
where they
Nice.
started.
That's definitely one of our favorite places to play. And then the Doll Hut in Los Angeles area, Orange County. It's kind of just a great little crust punk venue.
I just like playing new places, like anywhere I can play
Yeah.
new. Like we played a skate park, that was awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
Someone's house is pretty dope. Like
Yeah, like just new environments are always the most fun.
But I mean, I like all the venues around town. You know, Yucca, Flag Brew. I haven't gotten to play at Fire Creek yet, but it's kind of a cool little stage in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even say I like playing one place more than the other. Like, I just like playing.
Do you know that Modest Mouse has played Fire Creek before it was Fire Creek and whatnot?
Really?
Really?
That's
Pretty
crazy.
cool. I did not know
I
that.
just randomly know that fact. I don't know how I know
Fun
that
fact to know.
I feel like I've seen a Modest Mouse fly around town sometime, you know.
Pretty
That
sick.
makes sense, though. That's crazy.
I wish more cool bands would come back like that.
I saw In This Moment at Studio 111 when they were
Really?
still tiny. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
wild.
Yeah.
Nice.
In her blue dress on stage. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like they blew up. It's nuts.
So. One of my big famous bands that I got to see on a really small stage, and I'm super thankful for this. What was that venue we played in Phoenix? The Pub Rock. I got to see I Prevail at Pub Rock, with reach out distance, just right there on a bar stage.
Yeah.
It was the coolest show I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. That was
Hell yeah.
it was crazy seeing them, because I was like, these dudes are gonna be huge. There's no way they're gonna stay a bar band.
Yeah, they are.
And the next year they were stadium bands.
Playing every festival every year now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes bands that come through Flagstaff blow up almost instantly. Like Joyce Manor's played here at the Hive before.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Right.
Well, you get a good solid venue, you know, with a good reputation. Like, if anyone's coming through it, especially Northern Arizona, they're probably hitting up the Hive. I'm sure you guys get.
We get way too many emails.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Straight up.
that's just, you know,
It's hard to filter through sometimes.
telling-
and I feel bad for not answering every email. You know.
it's just
Oh, yeah,
a telling of time and, you know, the reputation that this place has built. You know, people want to come and play here.
Right.
Or, you know, yeah.
It's housed a lot of great bands, a lot of great acts that have come through here.
I know we mentioned a few of your projects that you've been a part of before Vacant Skies. Is there what other projects have you been a part of, if any?
Yeah, I was talking about the old punk band I was in called The Blurs. That was the first band I was in. After that, I moved down to Phoenix for a couple years, went to school, graduated with an associate's degree, and moved back home. And started a band called Grim with kind of the same members. The original guitarist, at least, stayed for a little while before we moved on and got a different guitarist, different bassist. But that was the original bassist from The Blurs in the Grim, and that was a horror punk, horror metal kind of thing. And we played a lot around town from 2017 to 2020, right around before COVID hit.
I remember seeing you guys around.
Yeah, we were at the Hive in the green room a lot. Kind of, I want to say, one of one of the only local bands around that time, so we were getting hit up a lot from touring acts wanting to come through the green room and the Hive. So I got a lot of really cool opportunities. You know, I played with Michael Graves at the time before we knew he was a douchebag, and Argyle Goolsby, you know, freaking, I played with Goat Whore. There's just so many acts, so many awesome acts that came through. It was really fun, really good opportunities. Just love being in a band.
Yeah. And Larry was the singer for Grimm, too. So that was so that's kind of one thing that I
was
guess,
that right?
Yeah. So this is one thing we didn't really mention is that in reality, Vacant Skies is made from the bones of Grimm.
Yep.
Yeah, Larry and Jade.
With the bassist from Bellatrist and the guitarist from Nothing at All.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Vacant Skies originally formed.
Yeah, just a bunch of a mash of
members from local bands.
Type thing.
Yeah, Franken-esque band, and it really worked out because like we all have that weird drive and craziness to keep doing this and just go until we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean for me, I guess you know that question about past projects. My main one was just Bellatrist. You know, that was the first band that I really joined. The first gig I ever played with them was it was crazy. I was in Phoenix at the time with my girlfriend and a friend of mine, and I got a call from Jacob Murphy. Shout out to Jacob Murphy in SFS Studios.
And Verathis.
But he called me because he was the guitarist for Bellatrist, and asked me, "Hey man, you want to make some money this weekend?" And it was like a Wednesday, and I was like, "Sure, what you got going on?" And he's like, "Well, can you think you can learn 7 songs and then drive with us to Albuquerque to play a show for a biker gang?"
Hell yeah!
And I was like, "Yes, I can do that."
That sounds like an adventure.
Yeah.
Count me in.
And I mean, like, dude, I was prim, clean cut, looking preppy, straight off college campus kid, like with Ray-Ban glasses just like yours, but like really short hair and like only wore button ups and yeah. And so I learned these songs and then went on the road with these strangers to a different state, to Albuquerque, which was the craziest experience because I had no idea how crazy people drove in New Mexico until then. Like, that is terrifying. It is the Indy 500 over there. And then we get to this venue, and it's like a condemned building. Like, like seriously, plywood posted up over the windows and everything. You walk in the first room, and it's like leaking. It's raining outside. It's just gross. And then they go down these stairs, and then you start heading down a hallway, and all of a sudden it gets like cleaner, and then it just opens up to a venue. And like this venue is, because this is 100% a biker gang's like hideout place or something like that. Like I was sketched out. Like, you know, there's guys walking around with guns and stuff and all that craziness. And we get on the stage and we start playing, and like these guys just lost their mind over me, like in a good way. They loved me. They were like, because I had this big old flaming Traben 5-string bass. It's got like flame. What is it? It's got mother of pearl inlays that are all flame, and then like a stainless steel pickguard that's a big old flame on it and all that stuff. And I'm this dorky kid up here playing in this metal band, and they're just like, "Yeah, oh my god, yeah, this kid's awesome." We're and like start handing me a bowl full of weed, you know, like on stage, and I'm just like, "Oh, I can't, I'm playing." Like, it was a weird, and like there's like people drinking and smoking weed right there. Dead ass caught a couple like doing some stuff in the corner over there, like just right out in the open. And I was like, "This is
wild,
crazy. I have never been in this kind of environment in my life." And it was like, at the same time, everybody was nice and cool, and like, so I don't know, it was weird. I just kind of fell in love with it. Like, that point on, it was just off to the races.
Was that the moment that you were like, I know this is what I want to do?
Just at that, it was at that moment where I was fighting that fact. Where I was like, I know this is what I want to do, but I have to go to school. Damn school.
What did y'all study in college?
I graduated with a dual degree in information systems and business administration.
Fun.
Yeah.
You're playing a punk band.
Yeah, now I play in a punk band.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have associates in arts degree, just kind of focused in exercise science from Mesa Community College. I went to GCU at first, and that place stole all my money, so I had to go to community college.
Damn university.
Community college is honestly so lit.
It is. Yeah. It's the right way to go.
It totally. Yeah. I'm so happy with my decision.
Definitely.
To go to community.
I wish I would have directly gone that route. You know, I was trying to be the student athlete and a wrestler, and GCU had a wrestling team, so I was like, yeah, I'll walk on. The coach was like, yeah, I'll give you a scholarship if you get this GPA. I got above that GPA, but he was like, not gonna do it. So
you should have RKO'd him.
Should have threw him into a suplex.
Yeah.
Private university is expensive, man. Go to community college, kids.
Go to community college. Honestly, it's the same. Honestly, it's either the same or a better education because the class sizes are smaller.
Totally, 100% agree.
Yeah.
You get a lot more focus on you rather than like a giant fucking 100-person class.
Yeah, those lecture halls are not fun.
My teacher knows who I am. You know.
You're right.
What are some of your hobbies outside of music?
Oh, geez, how much time you got?
I'm an avid gardener. I like to grow vegetables and lots of things. It's just around that season now. It's getting really nice out. It's actually raining today.
It's raining today.
I was gonna go water the garden and I didn't have to. It was awesome.
I was so happy to see the rain this morning. I was like, yes.
Me too.
I garden and like I've been talking about how I'm a wrestler. I like to go in and coach, pass on my knowledge, just about the things I'm passionate about. Music, wrestling, things like that. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I've got quite a few hobbies that I like to kind of mess around with, but my biggest two that are outside of music would be I like to go out shooting. I used to do competition shooting. Never really got into hunting or anything like that. Not really my speed. But my eyes are too messed up nowadays to do any kind of real competition. So now I just like to have fun with it and go out shooting with my buddies. The second one is making guitar pedals. I've been just absolutely obsessed with it, and I don't know why, and I can't stop. Like I'm making them at night. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I got one that I make now. It's funny, every time I make one, just somebody buys it. I can't seem to get an example or hold on to an example. But it's I call it a love fuzz, and it's a little heart-shaped tin.
Like that big, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's so small, but it's got such a great fuzz tone to it, and there's no knobs or anything on it. It's just in or out. It's just like love, all or nothing.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, if anybody wants a custom sound or guitar pedal, come bother me at Arizona Music Pro.
Hell yeah.
And that's Eric Corum at Arizona Music Pro.
Yes.
Do you have any more questions?
Not really. All the questions I was gonna ask kind of naturally got segued into the conversation. So
yeah.
Sure. That's
nice.
That's how you know you're doing it right. I think maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say that's how you know we're a good interview.
Interviewee. Yeah.
I did wonder about Gray Skies and Vacant Skies. Is there any inspiration? What made the sky so vacant?
So it's interesting that you say that because that was kind of a coincidence at first. It was just kind of shot out, I think, by Larry or Mark. And Larry kind of had the idea, that like this, the sky's the limit. We can do whatever we want with this. And I kind of related with that in the sense that my brother's band was Gray Skies, like Vacant Skies. I'm kind of carrying on the tradition, let's go. How far can we take it?
Yeah. So I actually just answered that question recently through a magazine interview. But really the name, because I wasn't around with the name choice, but from Larry, what he told me was that there's a lot of different names thrown around, being considered, but really the whole point of the Vacant Skies project was something new and fresh, something that's, the potential is absolutely limitless, like a vacant sky. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of the main lead onto it, according to Larry.
Yeah, nice. And we kind of take a lot of pride in being able to change up our set list a little bit and have throw in that song with like the reggae breakdown and like fit in more with like a a slower kind of chiller band, or like a more punk band, like we can throw in some more punk songs, or like a metal band, like we have some of those too. Like we just take pride in like being eclectic and changing it up, and we like all kinds of music.
Yeah, it's really it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the big things with this band is like it's all about allowing creative freedom, like not stifling each other on what we want to do and how we want to sound. You know, like always, like the big thing is like, sure, we'll give it a shot. Let's hear it.
Yep.
Like that's all. That's kind of the motto. Is like, let's hear it.
That's the best way to go about it.
Yeah,
you always get the best results that way, I think.
Yeah, like it's definitely a great way to like actually expand your sound and do things differently. Because if you hear it and you're like, okay, it's not that great, then you're kind of like, okay, I agree, you want to do that. Or if for example, if somebody has an idea but they're not on board with it, but if nobody else has another idea, it's kind of like, well,
what else do we have? Yeah.
Right. And like we all have that kind of base understanding of how that process works, and that's really nice too. That helps with the creative freedom a lot. Is everybody understands how hard it is to make this stuff and how hard it is to record it and write it out and produce it and all that stuff too. So it's a lot of creative freedom with well-grounded understanding in the process.
Yeah,
Vacant
for sure.
Sky.
Vacant Skies.
Do you guys have anything coming up in terms of stuff?
We have
this episode should be airing tomorrow. So.
Oh, cool.
We have a show down in Phoenix. I think it's at the Timeout Lounge on June 26th. And confirm that date. But that's really the only show we have booked right now. We're kind of...
You guys working on an album?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's June 27th, my mistake, at the Timeout Lounge down in Phoenix. But yeah, that's it. And then...
Yeah, so the big thing we're grinding on now, like Logan said, we got an album coming out. This is kind of it's one of the reasons we're not really hitting a tour this year, is because this album is kind of our magnum opus, or at least our first one.
Yeah, we want to finish it up. And we're really excited.
This is going to be our self-title, too.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, so this one's going to. The plan is to get it. Well, the plan was, I guess, to get it out by the end of summer, early fall. Just with the way life has gone.
We're doing our best.
We're doing our best, but we're still. It's probably going to be a little bit like the end of fall, but keep your eyes out for it. We're debating on releasing another single beforehand to see.
I really like Black Flash. Black Flash.
Black Flash. Me too.
Yeah, I love Black.
I love it. I love it because it's like it's such a. That's again one of our more unique songs. Even just the writing behind that one, it was all based on an anime.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That was actually the first piece of music that our new guitarist Jason brought us.
Yeah.
When he was still filling in, and not even our full guitarist yet. And we were really excited to get that out. So we hope you guys are enjoying that out there, and we love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to play. And shout out to Jason Smith, guitarist for Gone Before Us and Vacant Skies.
Shreddy Krueger.
Himself.
Mm-hmm.
Himself.
Cool. I mean, if you guys have anything else to add, this could be the end of the episode.
Just like to thank you guys for having us on.
Yeah.
Having a conversation. Like I said, I'm just really passionate about this kind of stuff, and it means a lot to me. So being able to talk to you guys about it is awesome, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
thank you so much for having us.
It was a good conversation.
And thank you to the crowd for listening to our music and giving us a shot and making this worthwhile, and just really appreciate you guys. And also, eat your vegetables, brush your teeth, wear a jacket when it's cold, listen to your mom, and go to bed at a reasonable night. Oh, and drink lots of water, and I swear to God, all your problems will go away. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You said it.